Because they simply put, don't like Nicolas Maduro. And in fact, they believe that he should be on trial for drug trafficking. Look at this. 50% of Americans favor compared to just 14% who oppose. So there are very few Americans here who oppose it, even among Democrats.
You see Democrats today who long came on this network and others and called for Maduro's ouster, demanded it, now saying they oppose the fact that Donald Trump just arrested Maduro. This reflexive opposition to everything Trump does is corrosive of the Democratic Party, and you shouldn't look at these things through that lens. You should look at it and say, highly competent military and law enforcement operation, we got rid of a bad guy, there's a better future for Venezuela, and it's going to inure to the United States' benefit. But, you know, it's Trump, so everything must be opposed. If he's for it,
well, it's not. Like and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notifications anytime I go live or make a video. God bless you. God bless America. Let's get into this. All right, let's get to the Dems losing their mind over Maduro, because I think this is another crazy thing. You got CNN out here defending Maduro. They're defending Maduro. Like, Donald Trump is a genius. If he wants the Democrats to be on the wrong side of history, he just take the right approach on whatever topic it is, and they're going to take the wrong side. Maduro is a dictator. He's evil. He wasn't a legitimate president. No one recognized him, not just America, but nobody recognized him as the legitimate president. You name it. Fraud in our election probably came from Venezuela. We'll see that come out in the future. But because Donald Trump is against it, they got to be for it. Listen to him.
The U.S. is alleging that Maduro, again, is a drug trafficker, among other.
This one thing that we'll start the clip over. This one thing that I don't like. If you are speaking plain English with no accent, don't gain an accent when you say Maduro. That just bothers me. It's like, I'm going to the store one day to find out where I'm going in Maduro. And it's like, bro, your accent ain't, if you talk to somebody that's English, their second language, they roll their R's and they have an accent on every word they say. But they put the dummy up here that can roll his R's, so he talks in plain English, and then when he say Maduro, he goes Maduro. Maduro. It's Maduro. You're speaking English. Maduro. It's not Maduro. 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 It's not Maduro. Maduro. Sick of y'all code switching whack jobs. Play the clip. Just listen to this fool. Everything is plain English, but Maduro. Play it.
The U.S. is alleging that Maduro, again, is a drug trafficker, among other charges, something that will ultimately be decided by jurors. Here's what we know about the illicit drug trade out of Venezuela. The first drug trafficking accusations came against Nicolas Maduro back in 2020 during the first Trump administration.
Maduro.
And at the time,
pause the tape. Nicolas Maduro. Nicolas Maduro. What are you saying? We got the brand new shirt out. So if you're still in the business of merch, here you go. Don't mess with the USA. I think I just put US. Oh, USA, I got the flag on there. With Maduro on here. All you got to do is go to tatumstore.com, tatumstore.com. Put the discount code in. We'll flash it on the screen. Put it in the description section. God bless you. God bless America. How do you go home to your wife at night and feel like a real man when you out here being fake as mud? Nigga, Maduro. No, speak Spanish then. Just do it in Spanish. Roll the clip.
Former Attorney General Bill Barr said the Venezuelan government facilitated the transport of up to 250 tons of cocaine annually. Experts believe that most of that cocaine, though, is bound for Europe, not the United States. And also, for context, that total falls far, far short of what we see in many other countries. For instance, according to U.S. data, Guatemala, a much smaller nation, saw 1,400 plus metric tons pass through 2018 alone, which we know did wind up flowing into the United States. Cocaine is obviously dangerous and lethal. It is not, though, the drug causing most overdose deaths in the United States. That dubious distinction belongs, of course, to fentanyl. In 2024, the CDC says that drug killed more than 48,000 people here in the United States.
Hold on. Well, let's go to the Guatemala next. Okay, so all right, what's your point? But this is what these cowards fail to realize. People are not just doing fentanyl. I don't know why people are so stupid. No, most people are not getting fentanyl in a pill because this amount of fentanyl kill you. People aren't just getting fentanyl. They're cutting these drugs with fentanyl. So they put fentanyl in cocaine. They put it in heroin. They put it in weed. They put in fentanyl and other stuff to cut the drug. Therefore, it's more powerful for less drug. And it's like a fluff. They put a little fentanyl in there. They say you a little less. It's way more powerful for what they got to spend on it. So they amping these drugs up, and that's what's killing people. Because they think they doing blow, and it's got fentanyl in it. That's how they dying. Nobody will take fentanyl and pinch it off and stick it on their tongue and die. What's happening is these people are buying street drugs that's laced with fentanyl. What are y'all saying? I remember when I was a cop, heroin was killing people like it was going out of style. What I know now is it probably wasn't just heroin. They were cutting that heroin with fentanyl. That's why people started ODing way more than any other time in the history of our police department. And it's funny that shortly after that, it was the fear of fentanyl, not the fear that we would come across actual fentanyl. The fear was that we would have drugs that were laced with fentanyl that will give the same effect, meaning if it touches your skin or you inhale it, you can die. But they get on the news with no information, not know what they're talking about, and pushing stupidity. All right, let's go to the next clip. I forget this Maduro. All right, let's go to Stephen Miller, and then we're going to go to another leftist, Megyn Kelly. And
first of all of Venezuela experts agree. All Venezuela experts agree that it would be absurd and preposterous for us to suddenly fly her into the country and to put her in charge, and the military would follow her, and the security forces would follow her. This is not a serious. It's not even a serious question.
So should there be an election?
Let me. If you give me the floor for 30 seconds, let me tell you what we are doing here, Jake. The United States. This is sort of foundational. The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. We're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower. It is absurd that we would allow a nation in our own backyard to become the supplier of resources to our adversaries, but not to us, to hoard weapons from our adversaries, to be able to be positioned as an asset against the United States rather than on behalf of the United States.
Sovereign countries shouldn't be able to do what they want to do.
The Monroe Doctrine and the Trump Doctrine is all about securing the national interests of America. For years, we sent our soldiers to die in deserts in the Middle East to try to build them parliaments, to try to build them democracies, to try to give them more oil, to try to give them more resources. The future of the free world, Jake, depends on America being able to assert ourselves and our interests without apology. This whole period that happened after World War II, where the West began apologizing and groveling and begging
I don't even
and
know,
engaging in these
honestly,
vast
what you're talking
reparations
about right
schemes.
now.
What I'm talking about, Jake, is the idea. And by the way, you do. I know you love doing that smarmy thing, Jake, and I was hoping to be better than that this time.
I asked you about if there should be an election.
Exactly.
I asked you if there would be an election in Venezuela. That's what I asked. I said, why was the president so quick to dismiss Machado? You answered that question. And then I said,
the objective, Jake, is security and stability for the people of Venezuela. With our help and leadership, that country will become more prosperous than it has ever been in its whole history. Venezuelans
but the
will
woman
be richer
running Venezuela
and
right
safer
now is
and
part
more
of the
secure
Maduro
and
regime.
better off. There will be conversations, Jake, about all of these guideposts along the way. The reason why I was giving you that speech, which I know you didn't want to hear, is because you're approaching this from the wrong frame. This neoliberal frame that the United States' job is to go around the world and demanding immediate elections to be held everywhere, immediately, all the time, right away. To create these vacuums.
That's not what I think, but you invaded the country. We went into the country and we seized the leader of Venezuela.
Damn straight we did.
And I'm saying,
we're not going to let.
So is the U.S. going to have new elections?
Jake, is that we're not going to let Tim Pot communist dictators send rapists into our country, send drugs into our country, send weapons into our country.
Okay.
And we're not going to let a country fall into the hands of our adversaries. The future of Venezuela, working with America, is going to be so bright and so incredible and so positive, and we'll have a conversation about everything that you raised. But the priority right now, as the president has made clear, is a judicious, thoughtful, careful transition process to secure a great future for Venezuela and to secure a great future for America.
All right.
And let's just take a moment and just acknowledge, Jake, that what we've witnessed under President Trump's leadership this last week is one of the greatest foreign policy and military victories this country has ever had.
Exactly. And the little weenie over there, put the weenie back on the screen. The little weenie over there is Jake Tapper is mad. Why you mad, bro? Why y'all got a problem with this? What do you think? And I'm going to tell you, it's like, I don't know what some mental gymnastic or strategy that they use to, like, divert from the real topic is that they go off are they going to hold elections? I mean, like, that is irrelevant to all the stuff that Stephen Miller is saying. It's not just, we go travel, we're going to hold an election. Their elections were stolen. They're running a fraudulent election. What are we going to do? Let them run another fraudulent. We go over there and do all this for them to run a fraudulent election. Then we have to do it all over again. For the time being, we are going to secure what we need to secure in that country since we went over there. We'll throw the election up there. We'll let them do their little thing. But until then, America's controlling it. And why y'all mad? All right, one more. Megyn Kelly. I unfollowed her just recently. She wasn't following me. I think she unfollowed me because I could have sworn she was following me. But Megyn Kelly is a milquetoast. Put your thumb in the wind to figure out which direction you want to go, which bandwagon you want to hop on. That's what Megyn Kelly has become. I like Megyn Kelly. I mean, I was all a big fan of her until recently. She can't pick a side because she don't want no smoke. She came out saying she supported Israel when it was popular, and then it became unpopular. And then all of a sudden she got questions, and all the Jews are mad at her because they say she's anti-Semitic. Now she want to take the middle approach. That's the difference between me and people like that. She don't want to take a side because she don't want no backlash. Listen to her. Hold on. Before we get there, and I'm not the proponent of saying you got to call people out by name. You don't have to if you don't want to. But you should at least address the foolery that people are saying. She won't address nothing that nobody's saying. No, nobody. Milquetoast, lukewarm, I have no respect anymore on this topic. I don't know her personally. She may be cool. Drinking red wine, she probably cool, hang out with. But on the political topic, I have zero respect for her. Roll the clip.
I really think this is something we need to consider both sides on. I really do. I don't think, let me just tell you something. When I was at Fox News, which was a long time, 14 years, I would have known exactly what to do in the wake of Trump's attack in Venezuela, his retrieval, shall we say, to put it in mild terms, of Nicolas Maduro. I would have known that I was supposed to cheerlead it. And I turned on Fox News yesterday.
So you telling me your whole career you were fake? That's what I'm hearing. When I was working for a company, I knew that I should have did this. What do you mean? You didn't have your own opinions? You mean that you were scripted like Tucker was? So Fox, and you working for Fox, you admit that you didn't have your own opinions. You were told what to say. You were bought and paid for. You did not have an opinion. And now that you're a freelancer, now you wacky. Because you don't have no opinions. Roll the clip.
And I'm sorry, but it was like watching Russian propaganda. There was nothing skeptical. It was all rah-rah, cheerleading. Yes, let's go. And that's fine. I love our military as much as anyone, and I believe in President Trump. But there are serious reasons to just exercise a note of caution before we just get on the rah-rah train. All right. I have done that enough times in my career as a Fox News anchor.
Fake news anchor.
To have been embarrassed enough to know I'm going to stay on the yellow light for this.
Oh.
I'm not in the green light territory. I'm not in the red light territory either, but I am staying in the yellow light territory.
Why? What's the yellow
for
light?
now? I see all of the strategic advantages of what he's done. Trust me, I do. I see that other countries like Russia and China and Cuba were all over Venezuela and its oil, posing a potential threat to the United States. I get that. That's actually the most persuasive argument and obviously the real one, and none of this bullshit about law enforcement. But I have seen what happens when you cheerlead unabashedly U.S. intervention in foreign countries, thinking it's for our good and for the international good.
Time out. Let me just articulate this very clearly real quick. And I'm gonna get back to our clip. Give me like 2 seconds. No, more like 30 seconds. This is the same talking points that Tucker Carlson has. Why? Just because other presidents intervene and it failed, that does not give you the prerequisite to say that Donald Trump is going to fail. Compartmentalize, woman. Compartmentalize. The signs and symptoms of failure then were clear then. The signs and symptoms of strategic success is apparent in this situation. I'm going to tell you how fake these people are. They want to play in the middle because I don't want to be wrong. So I don't want to take a side because I might be wrong. That, you know how cowardice that is? Everybody that's watching Nick, that's excited about Nick, that's sharing his content and videos, have to understand there's two important things that are happening. One is that he's exposing corruption and changing the world.
Right.
The second is he needs security. And so him discovering just $100 million worth of fraud just right there.
Yeah, in one afternoon.
One afternoon.
Wasn't that hard. And now he's like literally having death threats and bounties on his head.
Yeah.
And after speaking with you, you're like, all right, this kid needs to go 24/7.
So Nick went back. People may not notice because he haven't released the video yet, but he went back.
Yeah, he's been back.
And he told me that it's worse than the first video. Shout out to Black Line for being the line between good and evil, protecting Nick Shirley and his family. So all you got to do, the link will be in the description section, go to Black Line Guardian Fund, Black Line Guardian Fund, become a guardian today at whatever rate or whatever price that you want to give. It's a 501c3 tax deductible donation, all right? I'm going to tell you how fake these people are. They want to play in the middle because I don't want to be wrong. So I don't want to take a side because I might be wrong. That, you know how cowardice that is? That's like Donald Trump being like, I'm not going to arrest Maduro because what if it don't go right? That's not leadership. That's wussification. You do what you need to do in good faith and do the best you can. You're not God. You don't know what the outcome is. But the reason that you get involved is in good faith. Not being like this woman. That's why, and I'm not saying women, but women like this can't lead. Because you fickle. I've been burned so many times. So then, therefore, that means that if you drive a car and it break down on you, I'm not driving cars no more. Because I can't trust that. No, you got a new car. You got the tune-up on it. You got the oil change on it. You got the brakes checked. It came from a reputable dealer. You should be able to compartmentalize, although those other cars didn't work, here's the reason why they didn't work. The people weren't acting in good faith. So I got a new car. We got a new president. We got a new president that has proven himself in 2 terms that we don't do regime change. And if we do any regime change and we do get engaged in military conflict, we're doing it in good faith and it works out because we're doing it for the right reasons. But you cowards don't want to take a position because I've been burned in the past before. Don't blame nobody but you. You the one took the wrong. You should have said, I don't believe in that. But I'll tell you this. What's the yellow light, Megyn? What's the middle ground? You sit in the middle I don't know if it's right or wrong. That's safe because that's cowardice. If you're a commentator and you putting your opinions out there, you don't mind putting your opinions out on everything else. But you want to be in the middle to save face for you. I'm the type of person that said when I believe that Donald Trump does the right thing, then I believe that he's doing the right thing. And when he's doing something I think is wrong, I'm going to come out and say, I think this is not right. Conveniently play in the middle. All right, I'm going to finish this clip and we'll be done. Roll it.
Only to wind up with what we've called quagmire in places like Iraq.
That's not Venezuela.
Not to mention Libya.
That's not Venezuela.
We're not great at going into these foreign countries,
Venezuela.
Decapitating them at the leadership level,
it's not
and
Venezuela.
Then saying either we're going to steer the country to a better place
Venezuela.
or it's going to steer itself. Either one. They just 9 times out of 10 they don't work out well. And what does it mean in terms of boots on the ground? Trump is saying I'm actually fine with that in Venezuela. Well, whose boots? Because I have a 16-year-old boy. And I have a 12-year-old boy, and I have a 14-year-old girl. And a lot of my listeners have children, too, who are actually the ones who might have to fill the boots. So I think I speak for...
Why? How your kid... We're not going to do a draft. This is Venezuela. You act like we're going to war with China. How your kids going to get in the military? Unless they want to. Let me say this to y'all, man. And my military people, y'all can disagree with me or back me up, whichever one you want. People don't sign up on the military to sit on a base every day. You sign up to fight for the country. What are you saying? You don't get to pick which war you go to. Well, I don't like that one. I don't want to fight in that one. Well, don't join the military. When you join the military, there be some fights you may have to get into that you may not understand. There may be fights that you get into that you feel was unnecessary at the time, but it was beneficial to the country in the future. There are people that fought wars that some people think now in hindsight that we shouldn't have done. But nobody's in the military to sit in a safe place on a military base in America. That's not why you join the military. That's like being a cop and be like, man, we don't need to enforce that law. It's too dangerous. Well, don't be a cop. Sometimes you're going to have to go out and put your neck out there for other people. Right, wrong, and different, whether you like it or not. Somebody do an active shooting in a school, we don't get a chance to say, well, y'all should have secured the school. We wouldn't even have to go in this building. His mom and them should have. If you're not going to keep the kid from having a gun, then I don't want to. There's all kind of failures in society that when I put that uniform on, I realize I may have to engage with, although it's a failure that I don't have nothing to do with. But I may have to step up and put my neck out there. If I join the military today and our commander in chief wants us to go in Venezuela, that's what we got to do. I joined the military. If that's what the thing is that the military isn't a democracy. You don't get to vote on what action you take. Training in military is dangerous. You don't get to say, man, that training is way too dangerous for me. I'm out. I ain't signed up to be in danger. And I know people may say it's a straw man to a certain degree, but quit with that. My kids may have to serve. Somebody else's kids died for your freedom too. My kids, but I got a girl. Remember when people got drafted? Somebody else had a little girl too that had to fight in the war and died so you could be free. But you sit on your high horse with all your money in your mansion. I don't want my kids to have to die for something I don't know if I agree with. I'll put my life on the line and die for this country, right, wrong, and indifferent. I don't care if I like it or not. I don't care if I agree with it or not. When I put that uniform on, it's go time. Or I don't put the uniform on and I never have to worry about dying. But your kids ain't finna just join the military because we gonna make them, especially not your daughter. Women don't get drafted. So if you claim we're gonna get into another war, it ain't your daughter. Why bring her up? And if your daughter decides to join the military, she know what to expect. I get sick of these people, man. Y'all don't serve. You ain't never served. You ain't got no service in your heart. I put on that uniform. I was willing to die for my city. I don't care what the chief said. I don't care how political he was. I don't care that they're giving all these illegals. I put the uniform on to serve. I don't put the uniform on to sit at the headquarters all day and hope nothing dangerous happen. All right, I'm done.